What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is David Hanlon, aka the Laptop Legend, and in today's video I want to talk about the stocks that you guys need to be watching for tomorrow. Now, my throat is kind of sore today, so I apologize if anything sounds a little weird. You know, I'm trying to keep it nice and loosened up for you guys, so nothing sounds weird. I was talking in the Discord. We made a voice thread, so now I can call out plays live every single day. So that's nice. Been very helpful, but talking for hours a day kind of makes my throat hurt a little bit. So we're gonna see if I can, get some type of tea factory or something up in here. But anyways, I want to talk about the stocks that you guys need to be watching for tomorrow. There were not a ton of good plays for most of the day, and then right towards the end of the day, we got some stocks. OTC stocks that did exactly what I was hoping for. There was also one really good play at the beginning of the day that I want to talk about because this is the classic dip and rip pattern that you guys should be learning on these low float stocks. And yeah, I mean, you know the drill. You guys have been with me long enough, so let's dive into my computer and let's chat. All right, I'm sorry guys, I really gotta stop kissing the camera. Most of my audience is like a 40-year-old man, so that's my bad. Won't happen again, I promise, at least not today. So yeah, you can see here, this is one that's popping up after hours, Virgin Galactic. This is probably not one that I would trade, but it's had a nice uptrend, and we all know what can happen with those big names that everyone knows, man. So just have this one on your watch list if you're into trading bigger stocks. But for me, the biggest ones that I am watching are the OTC stocks because we've had a lot of choppiness in the NASDAQ stocks, and they've been a little hard to trade. But let me actually talk about that one first, just so you guys know exactly what to be looking for. So I called this out perfectly in the Discord in pre-market and pretty much explained exactly what this was going to do. But because I was watching OTCs, because that is where I feel like I have the biggest advantage, I missed this play. But I'm gonna try to be better about making sure that I capitalize on these in the future. So this is a classic dip and rip, and you can see this was not on yesterday's watch list because it did not start spiking up until 7 a.m. So I guess I don't know if there was a press release then or what, but really this did nothing in after hours yesterday, which is a little bit frustrating. But you can see here it spiked up really nice in pre-market, and I saw it right about this area. And typically what happens is you'll get a ton of people who buy it like right at the open. These are newbies. These are Robinhood traders. It might be you if you're watching this video. So make sure you stop doing that. Don't put yourself in that position. If it starts spiking right at open, you think, oh, I don't want to miss out on these gains. Just take a breather and know that what typically happens is you see a quick pop at open and an immediate dump off and a fade around to support areas that were built during pre-market. This is very typical. And then past that, you'll see it curl back up, break these pre-market highs, and go on a nice little run. And that is exactly what it did. You can see it spiked right at open, it tanked hard, and it found support right at this area right here, in this 210 area, which is perfect. I mean, if you're looking at this stock, you're coming in right before market open, you know where the support is. It's at 210. It's right here at 210, which is perfect. Maybe $2, you want to risk off $2. Maybe risk off $1.90 so you don't get wicked out. But you can see, once it rips past this, what's the pre-market high? $3. First time, it rejects off those pre-market highs. So again, it's tough to buy the breakout of the pre-market highs, which is why it's better to get in near support. But on the second try, it's able to rip up through. And that's also a decent entry. If it pulls back and then starts coming back up, you can get in there if you missed it before. Rips up through those pre-market highs and goes all the way up to 410. That's like 100% gain. That's almost 100% gain. What is that, 90% gain from 210? That's a beautiful entry. That's a beautiful trade. It double tops there, fades down. And you can see here the good entry is the same thing I talked about yesterday. When you break this downtrend, I can't draw this perfectly. I'm not going to waste my time trying to get it perfect. But you can see when it breaks the downtrend, that's when you hop in. And then it starts a new uptrend. When it breaks that uptrend, it kind of fails a little bit. But here's where you actually see it a little bit more. If I zoom out a little bit more. Right here, when you break that uptrend, this is what you guys need to watch out for. Break the uptrend, look at that sell-off. And I warned the guys about this in the Discord. As soon as it breaks that uptrend, there's a massive red candle. If you buy in here, I mean, you're in at 350 like that, it's down to 313, 315. That's crazy, bro. That's really tough to get out. So you just need to be aware of that, you know? That is where a short would typically enter on the break of the uptrend. And that's typically in stocks like this where I like to enter if you're trading intraday. If you see it spike up in pre-market, it builds nice support and it starts trending up, you can get in here, but the best thing to do is to wait until it spikes up at open, fails, everyone, you know, panics out, and then it finds its bottom right around that support, and then it spikes up through. So you can get in here, risking off the low there. If you buy in at 210, risking off of 190, and the potential reward is $4, that is a good risk to reward setup. That's a really good risk to reward, and that's the type of trades that you want to be taking. Now to talk about the OTCs, these are the important ones that you guys want to be watching. INKW. This is the one that I made the most money on today. This was up a lot, 144% going into close. And this is one that probably would have been a good overnight long. I just don't have the balls to take it. And, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing if my hypothesis is correct. I'm looking forward to seeing if this actually is a good overnight long, because I had gains right here and I took them because I don't need to gamble. But maybe this gaps up and is at 5 cents tomorrow, and if so, I left a lot of money on the table. You can see I had a lot of shares. I mean, not all those were at one time, but I mean, I had a lot of shares on this. I bought 50,000 when it was breaking out here, past these highs, and I traded this a lot of times throughout the day. But in this case, this is one of those other ones that is now going to be on the watch list because it's an OTC stock that has a lot of volatility, and that's exactly what we want to see for those whole cent breakouts and for those dip buys. So, I mean, it's up nice and big. This could gap up and see a really nice panic, and then we could buy the bounce of the panic. That would be ideal for me on this one. If it gaps up and just starts running, maybe you buy a whole cent breakout. Maybe it gaps up to 4.8, breaks out past 5 cents. You can buy the 5 cent breakout, get an immediate pop, and take some quick profits. That's pretty much all I was doing, during the day on this stock. Pretty much all I was doing. You know, it's nice. It's a good setup. Same thing, SNPW. This is another one, SNPW. Look at that. Broke past those previous highs, going right into close. So this is probably a good overnight long, but I took my profits on this one again. I saw it break past these highs right here. I hopped in for that break, and I sold into this spike. Could this gap out tomorrow? Yeah, definitely could. But you need to be careful because it could also see a little panic. So for me, I just want to see, I guess, if my hypothesis is right, that this does gap up tomorrow, because if it doesn't, you know, I'll know not to do this in the future. But if both of them gap up, I'll know that I need to take a little more risk and just, you know, be willing to try it, at least with some shares, to see what happens. Because if I'm right 85% of the time that it does gap up, it makes sense to take that trade because it's going to be winning in the long run. CYDY. I believe this is one from the watch list yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. And this had a nice spike. Way too many green candles. I mean, that's a lot of green candles. I don't know if there was some manipulation or what. I mean, I guess technically these are red candles, these tiny things right there, but not really. And then it came back down. And what did it do right going into close? It broke past those intraday highs. It broke past them. I also think this is a good overnight long. So we'll see what this does tomorrow. I think this could definitely gap up tomorrow, and it's definitely big on the watch list because if it gaps up enough, it's over. I mean, it's over that mark right there. $7 was an important mark, and you can see here this area right here is pretty important as well. So potentially we see this thing breaking $10. I don't know. It would also be nice to see it reject off of $10 and see a huge panic that we can buy the bounce off of. So that's what I'm looking for on this stock. But definitely keep this one on your watch list. AITX. This one really didn't have that much volatility today. I'm not sure if I traded a little bit. You can see not too much. But that's the nice thing about, again, having my limited margin, because I can take an $8,000 position on a bad trade and still make some money just because I have the size. So, I mean, this is not that great of a setup, but it's a mini little dip buy. Get some quick money there. I'm just watching this for whole cent breakouts, intraday resistance breakouts, and dip buys. That's pretty much all I'm doing. Keep it on your watch list. TSNP, this was the most boring chart today, bro. I don't know what, it's like, I feel betrayed. There were really no great opportunities on this stock today. I mean, we had a little bit of a dip buy here, but I think I actually took a loss for like the first time in my life on this stock. I took a $20 loss on this stock because it was like right here. It might have been right here where it like could not break out over the 39 level, and I bought it as it did. And then it just like faded back under, and I cut quickly. So, it is what it is. Again, I'm not comfortable loading up long term at these current prices. So we did get a green day that we were looking for, kind of as expected. But if it can't break 40, could easily fade back down. I just want to panic on this, man. Give me a panic, please. Give me a good panic. That's all I'm asking for. Is it too much to ask? BLDV. This is another one. BLDV. And this is one that this broke through the 1 penny mark. And I think this could also be a good overnight long. So I'm going to be watching this one. But this was up, almost 100% on the day, closed right near the highs. It's an OTC stock, so nobody can buy it really until market open. And if there's a bunch of buy orders, they all come flooding in at once and cause a big gap up. So I'm going to be watching this one literally for the same stuff I always talk about. It's nice to have OTCs that I could actually trade on Fidelity that have volatility. So be watching this for panic dip buys, those whole cent breakouts. Again, buying here at the break of 1 cent, that was beautiful. I tried to buy 250,000 shares, but I got filled none there. I tried to buy again on the break of 1.1 cent. I didn't get filled there. So you can see, either of those were decent trades. From 1 straight up to 110, that's a 10% gain like that. You take advantage of these patterns, man. They add up. They really add up. And again, today I'm up. It says 297. That's because OZSC hasn't. It says pending update. I don't know why it does this. This is definitely over 300. It might be less than 400. It might be less than 400. It might be 380. It might be 390. I don't know. I don't know what I made on OZSC. But I for sure made more than $300 today. And again, no A-grade setups. Really just doing what I've been talking about. So be watching that stock, ALYI. This is another one. This is another OTC stock that is it's moving nice, seeing some nice volatility, up 30%. So be watching this for the same thing. This really just held an uptrend all day, but we get above these levels, get a breakout here, we could see a nice panic on this. That's what I'm looking for. AMC, yeah, this thing was just gross, bro. This is why I don't touch stocks like this. They said they were gonna, Wall Street Bets is gonna pump this up, and it was just gross. It was just gross, man. If you weren't in already, it was just gross. There was a gap up and it just faded down. So I don't even know why that's on my watch list. I don't want to be watching that. AMTX. Yeah, I guess that was a big spike up in the morning, but then not really doing much. So yeah, not touching that. BDR. This was one that had a nice spike up, but then just kind of, just gross, man. Just some big dumps. If you see a ton of red candles like this, that's normally a decent entry, just for a quick little flip, taking 10 cents here and there. But nothing too crazy. BD, yep, talked about that one already. BMIX, this one was also doing a little bit today. It was up 25% today, but no real A-grade setups for me on this one. Breakout of 4 cents maybe. That could have been a decent trade. But not really a ton of volatility on this one. And DPLS. This one had a nice morning panic. I guess I just wasn't watching it, man. Yeah, I really need to get another monitor so I can watch 10 stocks at once, because I think I have about 10 OTC stocks that I'm always looking for these setups on. Fubo. This is up big, man. It's up big. Those call options, if you got them at the beginning of the day, after, as soon as you could, after you saw the video that I made, you're probably up 40, 50% from the beginning of the day. I'm not sure what they're at now, but again, this has the potential to break those highs there at 62.29. It could see a nice squeeze, so, be ready for that. GTLL. This is just one, it's kind of choppy right now. If it breaks over a penny, I'll try to look for that breakout. That's probably all I would trade on this. INKW, yeah, I talked about that one already. Are there any I'm missing? TAIT? PHUN. This was just gross. It was gross, man. We saw a nice spike up, and in the morning, it continued to spike up. But if you watch this in pre-market, you could see it's just gross. You can see it kind of faded down. Never was able to curl. Never able to make it over. It just broke through this support here from after hours the previous day, and never gave a really good buying opportunity. So you don't always see the stocks that spike up into close. They don't always present a good buying opportunity. They're good to keep an eye on. OZSC, I guess, yeah. This is one that I traded. Had some nice mini panics here. Kind of hard to get executed, but then just kind of grinding up all day. So it was up another 17% today. you know, 2 green days in a row. If we get some news on this, it could break past those all-time highs. And man, oh man, I am going to look for some panics on this one. Also willing to take part in some breakouts because I know it can run on breakouts. So this is just another really good stock to have in your arsenal. Because if you're bored and looking for something to trade or you don't know what to buy, look for mini dip buys and look for little whole cent breakouts or intraday resistance breakouts. See how many times it failed here? It could not get over that 16.8. There was a reserve seller there. And as soon as it broke past that, it went on a nice little run. 16.8 to 17.20. That's a decent trade. So I'm going to be watching that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's not a whole lot of NASDAQ stocks that I'm really watching. It's mainly OTCs. And I feel like OTCs are where I have the biggest advantage. So, you know, if you get this type of pattern in pre-market, definitely be looking for that. I'm not sure what the ticker would be. But if you get a nice spike up, heavy fade back down, some consolidation, building some support, you know, look for that dip and rip. That's the goal. And then, you know, look for those break of trends. That would be the best entry. Break of the downtrend, great entry. Break of the uptrend, great exit. And that's it, guys. That's pretty much it. I don't want to make this video too long, so hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully you found it helpful. I don't know how to speak now, apparently. I just completely forgot, so that's cool. But I'll see you guys in the next one. And until then, you know the drill. Let's grow better together. Preguntar, bebé, dime por qué te mientes. No puedes esconder todo lo que tú por mí sientes.